My parents told me, "You're adopted. You get nothing when we die." Then Grandma's lawyer called. The call came while I was eating cereal before my shift at the auto parts store. "Austin Caldwell, this is Margaret Stevens, estate attorney. Your grandmother Eleanor left you something." I almost laughed. "There's been a mistake. My parents said I wasn't in her will." "Mr. Caldwell, we need to meet immediately." 2 hours later, I'm staring at documents. $2.1 million, a house, investment accounts, all mine. "But I'm adopted," I stammered. Margaret handed me a letter in Grandma's handwriting. "Austin, you are not adopted. You're my biological grandson. Your father's first wife, Jennifer, was your real mother. She died when you were 2. Susan made David pretend you were adopted because she wanted you gone." My hand shook. 21 years of being treated like garbage. While my siblings got cars and vacations, I worked 2 jobs just to afford ramen. Every family dinner where they'd discuss college funds for Logan and Ashley. But when I asked about help with community college, Dad would say, "You need to learn independence." The letter continued. "David and Susan think they're inheriting everything. They've been spending money they don't have. The new truck, kitchen remodel, Logan's boat. They borrowed against my estate. They get nothing. But there was more." Margaret pulled out another folder. "Your grandmother hired a private investigator 3 years ago. She documented everything. Photos of me walking to work in the rain because my bike broke. Messages between Susan and her friends. Can't wait for the old bat to die so we can finally live properly." The investigator had recorded conversations too. Austin thinks he's family, but he's just David's mistake from his first marriage. "Once Eleanor's gone, we'll have enough money to cut him off completely." "Your grandmother was furious," Margaret said. "She changed her will 6 months ago. Your parents get nothing. Your siblings get $1,000 each. Everything else goes to you." The best part, the investigator had proof they'd already spent $200,000 they didn't have. New credit cards, loans against their expected inheritance, deposits on a vacation home in Florida. I drove to their house with Margaret. It was Friday night, their weekly family dinner that I was never invited to. Through the window, I could see them celebrating with champagne and expensive takeout. Susan opened the door, saw us both, and her face lit up with greed. "Finally, Margaret, right? How much did Mother leave us? We've been waiting so patiently." Logan and Ashley crowded behind her, practically bouncing with excitement. David appeared with a bottle of champagne, ready to toast their good fortune. I smiled. "Actually, she left me everything, and this letter explaining how you lied about me being adopted." Susan's face went white. "That's impossible. You're not even real family." "Oh, but I am." I pulled out the birth certificate Grandma had kept safe. "My mother was Jennifer Caldwell. You know, Dad's first wife. The one you made him pretend never existed." David's champagne bottle slipped from his hands, shattering on their expensive marble floor. The floor they'd renovated with money they thought they'd inherit. "This has to be a mistake," Ashley whispered. Margaret stepped forward. "There's no mistake. Austin inherits $2.1 million, the house, and all investment accounts. You 3 children each receive $1,000. David and Susan receive nothing." "Nothing?" Susan's voice cracked. "But we borrowed. We spent." "Oh, about that $200,000 you borrowed expecting your inheritance." I held up the legal papers. "The bank wants it back tomorrow with interest." Logan started crying. "But my boat payments, the vacation house deposit." "Not my problem," I said. "Maybe you should have treated your brother better." David finally found his voice. "Austin, please. We're family." "No," I said, looking him dead in the eye. "Jennifer was family. Grandma Eleanor was family. You're just the people who made my life hell for 21 years. Margaret cleared her throat. "There's one more thing your grandmother wanted you to know." She handed me a sealed envelope marked "Open only after confronting them." Inside was a single photo. My real mother, Jennifer, clearly pregnant, with a massive bruise on her face. The back read, 2 weeks before she died. David's handwriting. I looked up at my father, the photo shaking in my hand. "Grandma didn't think Mom died in an accident. She thought you killed her." David's face went white as snow. "That's not, I never." Susan grabbed his arm. "Don't say anything. Don't you dare say anything." But Ashley was staring at the photo, then at her father, and she started backing toward the door. "Oh my God. That's why Grandma hated you. That's why she cut you out." Logan stopped crying and looked at his father with new eyes. And suddenly David rushed toward me, not to hug me, but with his hands reaching for my throat. Margaret moved faster than I expected for a woman in her 60s. She stepped between us and David crashed into her instead, stumbling backward. She pulled out her phone. "I'm calling the police. One more step toward my client and you'll face assault charges on top of everything else." David froze, his hands still raised, breathing hard. Susan yanked him back by his shirt. "You idiot. You complete idiot. This is exactly what she wanted. What Austin wants. To make you look guilty. I wasn't the one who put a bruise on Jennifer's face 2 weeks before she died," I said quietly. Ashley was still backing toward the door, her eyes wide. "Dad?" She was shaking. Tell me you didn't. Tell me Grandma was wrong. David's jaw clenched. Your grandmother was a bitter old woman who never forgave me for marrying Susan. That photo means nothing. Jennifer fell. It was an accident. Both things were accidents. Margaret's voice cut through. The coroner's report from 23 years ago lists cause of death as blunt force trauma to the head, consistent with a fall downstairs. But there were also older bruises. Bruises, the coroner noted, but your father explained away as clumsiness during pregnancy. I felt sick. You hit her while she was pregnant with me? David's face twisted. You don't understand. Jennifer was difficult. She had these moods. Postpartum depression. They called it later. But back then, she wasn't postpartum, I interrupted. I was 2 when she died. That's not postpartum depression. Susan finally spoke, her voice ice cold. This is ancient history. Even if David did push Jennifer, which he didn't, it's been over 2 decades. No one can prove anything. The case is closed. Margaret smiled, and it wasn't pleasant. Actually, Mrs. Caldwell, Eleanor hired a forensic specialist to review the original investigation 6 months ago. There were significant inconsistencies that were never pursued. The angle of Jennifer's fall, the fact that neighbors reported hearing screaming an hour before David called 911, a grocery bag found at the top of the stairs, suggesting she'd just come home when it happened. Logan had stopped crying entirely. His face was pale. You killed Austin's mom? David whirled on him. I didn't kill anyone. She fell. I tried to help her, but it was too late. Then why didn't you call 911 right away? Ashley's voice was barely a whisper. Why was there an hour gap? Because I was in shock, David snapped. Because I was trying to revive her. Because I had a 2-year-old son crying in the next room and I was terrified. Or because you needed time to get your story straight, I said. Because you needed to make it look like an accident instead of what it really was. Prove it, Susan hissed. You can't prove any of this. It's all speculation and circumstantial evidence. Eleanor was a vindictive witch who wanted to hurt us from beyond the grave. Margaret tucked her phone away. The police are on their way. I've also sent them copies of the forensic review and the original case file. They'll decide if there's enough evidence to reopen the investigation. David's legs seemed to give out. He sank onto the arm of their leather couch, the one they'd bought last month with borrowed money. This can't be happening. Ashley grabbed her purse from the entry table. I'm leaving. I can't be here right now. Where are you going? Susan demanded. Away from you people, Ashley shot back. Away from whatever this is. Logan stood up too, wiping his face. I'm coming with you. You will not abandon this family, Susan said, her voice shaking with rage. We are in crisis and you two are just going to run away? This family abandoned Austin for 21 years, Ashley said. We watched you treat him like garbage and we said nothing. We laughed when you made jokes about him at dinner. We took the cars and the money and the vacations while he walked to work in the rain. So yeah, Mom, I'm running away. Because I don't want to be anything like you. She left. Logan followed without another word. The house felt bigger with just the 4 of us, me and Margaret standing near the door. David collapsed on the couch arm, Susan rigid with fury in the middle of her expensive living room. The silence stretched until we heard sirens in the distance. You've destroyed this family, Susan said, looking at me with pure hatred. Eleanor poisoned you against us, and now you're going to take everything. Even if David goes to prison for something he didn't do, you'll still have your money and your self-righteousness. I hope it keeps you warm at night. I thought about all the nights I'd gone to bed hungry because I couldn't afford groceries and rent in the same week. All the times I'd asked for help and been told to figure it out myself. All the family photos on their walls that didn't include me. I'll manage, I said. 2 police cars pulled up outside. Margaret opened the door for them. Officers, thank you for coming. We have a situation that requires your attention. The next few hours were a blur. David and Susan were taken to the station for questioning. Margaret drove me back to my apartment, the tiny studio above a laundromat where I'd lived for 3 years. It cost $650 a month and the heat barely worked, but it was mine. You should stay somewhere else tonight, Margaret said as we pulled up. Once the press gets hold of this story, they'll find you here. The press? A wealthy woman's will that cuts out her son and daughter-in-law, leaves everything to the grandson they pretended was adopted, and potentially implicates the son in a 23-year-old murder? Austin, this is going to be everywhere by tomorrow morning. I looked up at my apartment window. The curtain I'd hung to cover the broken blind. The air conditioning unit I'd installed myself because the landlord refused. The life I'd built from nothing because no one else would help me. I don't have anywhere else to go. Margaret pulled out a business card and wrote something on the back. This is my home address. I have a guest room. Pack a bag and follow me. We have a lot to discuss about managing your grandmother's estate, and you need to be somewhere the reporters can't find you. Why are you helping me? I asked. You're just my lawyer. She looked at me for a long moment. Eleanor was my best friend for 40 years. I watched her cry over you more times than I can count. She showed me the photos the investigator took. You walking 5 miles to work in a snowstorm because your bike chain broke. Eating dollar store crackers for dinner. wearing the same 3 shirts to work because you couldn't afford more. She wanted to help you sooner, but David and Susan had already convinced you that you weren't really family. She was afraid you'd refuse her money out of pride or because you thought you didn't deserve it. So she waited. She planned. And she made sure that when she died, you'd finally get everything they stole from you. Your inheritance, your truth, your mother's memory. I'm helping you because Eleanor asked me to, and because after reading that investigator's reports, I think you're a good man who got dealt the worst possible hand. Now pack your bag. We have work to do. I packed everything I owned in 20 minutes. It fit in 2 duffel bags and a backpack. Margaret raised her eyebrows but didn't comment. Her house was in a neighborhood I'd only driven through on my way to other places. Big trees, sidewalks, houses with 2-car garages and landscaped yards. She pulled into a driveway with solar panels on the roof and a garden full of roses. Guest room is upstairs, second door on the right, she said. Bathroom is across the hall. Make yourself at home. I'm going to make some calls. The guest room was bigger than my entire apartment. It had a real bed with a headboard and matching nightstands, curtains that weren't sheets thumbtacked to the wall, a closet with wooden hangers. I sat on the edge of the bed and pulled out my phone. 47 missed calls, 63 text messages, most from numbers I didn't recognize, but some from people I worked with. My manager at the auto parts store. Hey man, are you okay? Saw your name on the news. Call me. I opened the news app. The top story in the local section was Wealthy Widows Will Sparks Family Drama and Possible Murder Investigation. They'd used an old photo of Grandma from some charity event. She was smiling. I barely remembered her like that. Most of my memories were from the last few years, when she was sick and David and Susan only visited when they wanted something. The article didn't have many details yet, just that Eleanor Caldwell had died 3 months ago. Her will was being executed this week, and there were questions about her son's first wife's death in 2002. They mentioned me as the primary beneficiary but didn't use my name. That wouldn't last long. Ashley called at 9 p.m. I answered because I didn't know what else to do. Austin? Her voice was quiet. Are you okay? I don't know, are you? She laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. Logan and I are at a hotel. We used his credit card, but it's almost maxed out because of the boat payments. We might have enough for 3 days, maybe 4 if we don't eat much. What are you going to do after that? I don't know. Ashley was crying now. I keep thinking about all the times we watched them treat you like garbage and we just went along with it. You asked me for $50 once, do you remember? You needed it for a work uniform, and Mom told me not to give it to you. She said you needed to learn to budget better. I listened to her. I let my brother go without because Mom told me to. What kind of person does that make me? A person who was raised by Susan and David, I said. You didn't know any better. That's not an excuse. No, I agreed. It's not, but it's an explanation. She was quiet for a minute. The news is saying Dad might have killed your mom, Jennifer. They're saying Grandma thought he murdered her and that's why she cut him out of the will. What do you think? I think I saw the way he looked at you tonight. Ashley's voice hardened. I think if Margaret hadn't been there, he would have hurt you, maybe killed you too. And I think I've spent my whole life making excuses for him because it was easier than admitting what he really is. What is he really? A man who hurts people when they're in his way. We talked for another hour. Ashley told me things I hadn't known. How David had thrown a plate at the wall during an argument last year and Susan made her lie to the neighbors about the noise. How he'd shoved Logan during a fight about the boat purchase, hard enough that Logan hit the door frame. How Susan always defended him, always made excuses, always blamed whoever he'd hurt for provoking him. I should have told you, Ashley said. I should have warned you that they were planning to cut you off completely after Grandma died. Susan talked about it all the time. She had this whole plan to change the locks on the house and tell you not to come around anymore. Like you were a stray dog they were finally getting rid of. My throat felt tight. I'm sorry you had to grow up with them. I'm sorry you did too, she said. But at least Logan and I had each other. You had no one. After we hung up, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the photo of my mother, the bruise on her face, the way my father had lunged at me with his hands outstretched, going straight for my throat like it was instinct, like he'd done it before. Margaret knocked on my door at 6 a.m. I was already awake, sitting by the window watching the sun come up over her perfectly maintained lawn. Coffee? She asked. We sat at her kitchen table with our mugs and she spread out paperwork between us. We need to move quickly, she said. The bank that gave your parents the loans is going to file a claim against the estate. They'll argue that David and Susan borrowed that money in good faith based on an expected inheritance. Can they win? No, Margaret said firmly. Eleanor's will was ironclad. I made sure of it. But they can drag this out for months, maybe a year. In the meantime, we need to secure your grandmother's house. Your parents still have keys and they're desperate. I wouldn't put it past them to try and remove valuable items before the estate is fully settled. What do I need to do? Get a locksmith out there today and change every lock. I'll file for a restraining order on your behalf to keep David and Susan off the property. We'll also need to do a full inventory of everything in the house to make sure nothing's missing already. Already? Margaret's expression darkened. Eleanor's caretaker called me yesterday evening. Susan was at the house 2 days before Eleanor died. The caretaker left them alone for 20 minutes while she went to pick up prescriptions. When she came back, Susan was coming out of Eleanor's office, and she looked flustered. The caretaker didn't think much of it at the time, but now she's wondering what Susan was doing in there. You think she was looking for the will, or trying to change it? Margaret tapped her pen on the table. Eleanor kept the original will in a safe deposit box at the bank, and I had a copy in my office. There's no way Susan could have actually changed anything, but she might have taken other documents. Financial records, personal papers. We won't know until we do a thorough inventory. I spent the day at Grandma's house. It was a big old colonial with a wraparound porch and a garden that had gone wild without her there to tend it. I'd been there maybe 5 times in my life, always awkward visits where Susan would find reasons to cut them short. The locksmith came first, $200 to change 5 locks. I paid him cash from the $2,000 advance Margaret had given me against the estate. Then I started going through rooms with a notebook, writing down everything I saw. Furniture, artwork, photo albums. In Grandma's office, I found filing cabinets full of documents going back decades. One folder was labeled Jennifer. I sat on the floor and opened it with shaking hands. Inside were letters my mother had written to Grandma, hospital records from my birth, photos of her holding me as a baby, a journal entry dated April 2002, 2 months before she died. David grabbed my arm so hard today that I cried. He said I was being dramatic. He said I bruised easily because of the pregnancy vitamins. But Austin is 2 years old. I'm not pregnant anymore. I'm not taking those vitamins anymore. And I don't bruise this easily. I never used to bruise this easily. Mom asked if everything was okay, and I lied. I told her everything was fine, but it's not fine. I'm scared of my own husband, and I don't know how to leave him. Where would I go? How would I support Austin? David controls all the money. He says I can't work because I need to stay home with the baby. But Austin is in daycare 3 days a week now. I think David just doesn't want me to have my own money, doesn't want me to have a way out. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the journal. There were more entries, pages and pages of my mother documenting abuse, financial control, verbal attacks, being shoved, being grabbed, being told she was worthless, and lucky that David put up with her. The last entry was dated the 10th of June 2002, 2 days before she died. I told David I want a divorce. I told him I'm taking Austin and leaving. He didn't yell. He just stared at me with his cold expression and said, "You're not taking my son anywhere." Then he smiled. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen, that smile, like he'd already decided something and was just waiting for the right moment to do it. I'm so scared. I'm writing this at the library because I don't feel safe writing it at home. I'm going to ask Mom if Austin and I can stay with her for a while, just until I figure things out, just until. The entry ended there, unfinished. 2 days later, she was dead at the bottom of the stairs. I called Margaret. She listened while I read her the journal entries, my voice breaking on almost every sentence. "Austin," she said gently when I finished, "I need you to put that journal in a plastic bag. Don't touch the pages anymore. We're giving that to the police." They're really going to reopen the case? After what you just read to me? Yes. This is evidence of domestic violence and possible premeditation. The fact that Jennifer told David she was leaving 2 days before she died, and that she documented being afraid of him, changes everything. Detective Amy Rosenthal came to the house that evening. She was young, maybe early 30s, with her hair pulled back in a tight bun and eyes that didn't miss anything. She photographed every page of the journal. She bagged the entire folder. She asked me questions about my father's behavior growing up, and I told her about the plate throwing, the shoving, the way he'd lunged at me last night. "Mr. Caldwell," she said when we were done, "I want to be honest with you. This case is 23 years old. Physical evidence is long gone. The original investigation was closed as an accidental death. Even with this journal and the forensic review your grandmother commissioned, getting charges filed is going to be difficult. But it's possible? It's possible." Her expression softened. "I've worked cold cases before. Sometimes all it takes is one piece of new evidence to make people look at everything differently. This journal is that evidence. Your mother was documenting abuse and she told your father she was leaving. Then she died 2 days later in a suspicious fall. That's a pattern we see in domestic violence homicides. What happens now? Now I take this to my sergeant. We review the original case file. We re-interview everyone who was involved back then. Neighbors, the first responders, the coroner. And we see if there's enough to present to the district attorney. And David? He's already being questioned about the discrepancies in his original statement." Detective Rosenthal glanced at her notes. In 2002, he told investigators he was in the garage when he heard a crash. He said he ran inside and found Jennifer at the bottom of the stairs. But phone records show he made a call from the house phone at the same time he claims to have been in the garage. He told police he called 911 immediately, but there's an hour gap between when the coroner estimates Jennifer died and when David actually called for help. He told us last night that he was trying to revive her. For an hour? With a toddler in the house? Without calling for any kind of medical assistance? Detective Rosenthal shook her head. The story doesn't hold up. It never really did. But in 2002, he was a grieving widower with a small child and no prior record of violence. Investigators took him at his word. Now we know better. After she left, I walked through the house room by room. In the master bedroom, I found more photos of my mother. She looked happy in the early ones, smiling, young. Then the photos changed. She looked tired, thinner. In a photo from what must have been a few months before she died, she wasn't smiling at all. She was holding me on her hip and staring at the camera with hollow eyes. I took that photo off the wall and sat on the bed with it. "Mom," I said out loud, I'm sorry I don't remember you. I'm sorry I grew up thinking I was adopted, that I wasn't really family. I'm sorry you were so scared and no one helped you." My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Austin Caldwell?" "Yeah. This is Trevor Walsh. I'm a reporter with Channel 7 News. I was hoping you'd answer a few questions about your grandmother's will and the investigation into your mother's death." I hung up. He called back immediately. I blocked the number. 2 minutes later, a different number called. I let it go to voicemail. Then another, and another. Margaret called at 10 p.m. "Stop answering calls from numbers you don't know. The press is going to hound you until something bigger comes along. Don't talk to any of them. Don't confirm anything. If they approach you in person, say, 'No comment,' and walk away. This is insane. This is what happens when money and possible murder intersect." She sighed. "Get some rest. Tomorrow we're meeting with the bank to discuss your parents' loans and we need you clear-headed." I couldn't rest. I lay in the guest bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about my mother's journal entries, thinking about David's cold smile, thinking about 23 years of lies. Somewhere across town, in whatever holding cell they'd put him in, my father was probably lying awake too, probably trying to figure out what to say, what story would save him, what lies he could tell. But the truth was already out there now, written in my mother's own hand, and no amount of lying was going to change it. The bank meeting was worse than I expected. David and Susan's loan officer was a thin man named Patrick Huang, who kept wiping sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief. Mr. and Mrs. Caldwell took out loans totaling $187,000 over the past 18 months, he explained, sliding papers across the conference table. They used Mrs. Eleanor Caldwell's estate as collateral. We were assured by both David and Susan that David was the sole beneficiary and that the estate was worth over $3 million. "Did you verify this?" Margaret asked. We requested documentation. Susan provided what appeared to be a copy of Eleanor's will dated 2019. It listed David as the primary beneficiary. Margaret's jaw tightened. That will was superseded by a new will in January of this year. The will Susan showed you was no longer valid. How were we supposed to know that? "You weren't," Margaret said coldly. "But that's your problem, not ours. You gave a substantial loan based on collateral the borrowers didn't actually have. That's a failure of due diligence on your part." Patrick's face flushed red. "Mrs. Caldwell committed fraud. She knowingly used an outdated will to secure loans. We'll be pressing charges." "Get in line," Margaret said. "She's already facing potential charges for elder exploitation. Eleanor was ill for the last year of her life and Susan had regular access to her. We're investigating whether Susan attempted to manipulate Eleanor into changing the will back, or if she tried to access Eleanor's accounts." Patrick looked like he might throw up. "The bank wants its money back. The bank can file a claim against David and Susan Caldwell personally," Margaret said. "But you're not getting a penny from Eleanor's estate or from Austin. Your loan officers failed to verify the collateral. That's not Austin's responsibility." We went back and forth for another hour. Patrick kept insisting the bank had rights to the estate. Margaret kept shutting him down with legal precedent and cold, hard facts. Finally, Patrick slumped in his chair and admitted the bank would have to pursue David and Susan directly. "They don't have any money," he said miserably. "They spent it all. The truck, the renovations, the vacation home deposit. It's all gone." "Again," Margaret said. "Not Austin's problem." We left Patrick looking like his entire career was circling the drain. In the parking lot, Margaret turned to me. "That was the easy one." "The easy one? Wait until the credit card companies realize they're not getting paid. Wait until the boat dealer repossesses Logan's boat. Wait until the Florida real estate developer sues for the forfeited deposit. This is just the beginning, Austin. Your parents' financial house of cards is collapsing and it's going to be ugly." She was right. Over the next week, it got ugly fast. Logan's boat was repossessed 3 days later. He called me crying, begging me to pay off the loan. "Just $30,000. Please, Austin, it's all I have." I told him I couldn't help him. The boat was bought with money they expected to steal from me. Let it go. Ashley had better luck. She got a job waiting tables and found a cheap apartment across town. She called me once to say she'd changed her name.
Be
careful. There is someone sitting on a bed at this very moment.
Judge me when you are perfect. Otherwise,
He made a
shut up.
decision.
You think there are
And it
5
seems he got
dangerous
lost.
women you must avoid. I shall explain. When
Stay
a
here
woman
with me,
is no
because
longer
now I am
interested
going to
in
reveal
you,
to you if he is going
Someone
to
who really loves you is going to do these 10 things.
I will marry you,
because I
my
know
love.
he is hurt. He is
From the
suffering.
moment I met you. If a woman leaves you
Do you
for
know
another
his
man,
pride?
don't argue,
He
don't
is
beg,
hurt
don't
because he
chase.
knows
Just
he can't lie
when a
to
woman
you.
stops getting jealous,
You're already
stops
told you
questioning,
so.
doesn't text,
If I don't text first, we don't
Do the
talk.
following.
If I don't
Look
reach
at the
out,
clock now,
you
and
threw
write
her
in the
away.
comments the time exactly
you
when
threw away
saw
the
this.
girl that would longer in
If
our
you do
time
this,
apart.
I will send
Until
you a
then,
spiritual message
I'll wait for you.
no
privately.
value. She's a
Now let's
financial
see if he will
vampire
look for
and
you
parasite.
whether it is worth
Correction and
insisting on this
directions
love.
from you.
He is not
She is
feeling
an
well.
arrogant.
He wants
Unnecessary
to
drama,
apologize,
giving you
but
no
something
peace
still prevents
because he
him
wants
from returning.
Protection.
Pride,
He needs patience,
someone's influence.
not pressure.
Want to know I who just it know is? that he doesn't want to Click lose the green you share because he button loves you. and see.
Or
And
I'm
I
not
tell you
upset.
that he will seek you.
Just know that the last
But now
tear has
comes the
drawn.
real test.
He just wanted to be
Click here to
heard.
share and see who
He just
appears.
wanted to feel.
eye on
If
showing
the
others
second
how much
person
she
on your
loves
list is a
you.
woman,
2,
this
a girl
message
who lives
really
far.
went to
Here,
you.
ready to listen, to apologize, and to make things right. Boom boxes and a whole lot of imagination. Life was loud.
If you can't say something good, stay silent. Don't make promises you can't keep.
It's on flash sale for just $9. Links below. Times of your life. These times will make you wise.
To have a perfect ground to break up with you. When this happens, you should know
The green button and then the WhatsApp button. The first person in your
wants to steal your smile. Trust in the power of this revolution.
Universe's protection. The serpent card has appeared. It shows there's
is
deceit.
to show you off and introduce you to the people they care about. And anyone who brings chaos,
They can talk about you, but they can't stop what God
and
is.
support you. But profits can make you a fortune. Continue to choose the safe path rather than the profitable one.
Now, I ask you to treat this video as you would treat Jesus, the beggar of tomorrow. Don't mock people who are struggling. Be honest with me. Don't go all silent on me, please. I know I'm not too. Yet, you
woman
stayed,
is trying to forget about you,
and that's
but she
wonderful.
really
The blessing He's preparing
If
for
you
you.
stop watching this video now,
He
you'll
knows
regret it,
you.
because
And
I'm going
comment,
to reveal
I
who
return
that
it to the
person is
universe.
and bless
If you
your life.
continue until the
His lucky
Let's find out
protection
who she is,
frequency is 88.
and I'll share the initial of her
Type
first name.
Your life
If
will
you've reached
change.
this point, it's
Use
not a
this
coincidence,
sound
my
before you
friends.
go to
The
bed.
universe
A
has
woman
message
sharing
for
her
you.
food with you means
Remember,
nothing.
to receive this
woman
message,
always-
it's
For you,
essential
stay
to
the
type the
same.
number 412.
You're
in
the one I
comments.
dream about.
I sense
That
the
won't
woman who
matter
can't
when
get
the
you out of her
clock
mind
runs out.
frequently checks your social
We
media
rush through
profiles.
To the one she's lying
She's quite
to.
stubborn and can
This
be a
is
bit
the truth.
rude. It's
Too short to
possible
be
that it's
holding
someone
on to
who recently
grudges.
distanced themselves
Too
from
short
you
to
out
let
of
your pride run.
Me because it
Maybe it's
enhances
someone
our
who loves
connection.
you. I
Stick
believe
with this
woman
video
will
till
eventually reach out
The
after
second
some
thing
time.
that will happen
She
is
won't
that the
be able to
person
stay
you
away
love
from
will
you
reach
for
out
long, and will
himself
take the
immediately
initiative
after
to
finishing
reconnect.
this video.
When you click
I'll
the
tell you
WhatsApp
that
share
deep
button,
down
he
the
wants
first
to talk
person
to
that
you.
pops up will
He was
have the
about to
initial
send
of
you a
that
message.
woman's name.
Your money. That respect
Receive
is
this
fake.
message from the
It's
universe by
shallow.
commenting
Through
below.
anything as
Thank
long
you,
as we
universe, for the
communicate
message.
and
don't
hold
forget
on
to
to
hit
the
plus
love.
button and the
Update.
heart on the
Remember,
side.
karma is real. If you do nothing,
Mentally,
they
she's
Calls her
drained.
friends.
She's been
She's a
strong for
cheat
too
and a
long,
pathological
holding
liar.
it together for everyone else
clear
while silently
sign.
falling apart.
She's
The weight she carries isn't just physical, it's emotional, and it's heavy.
If he's
No
on
one
that
sees
list,
the
he's
battles she
watching
fights in
YouTube.
her mind
Use
every
the
single
pushing-
day.
Don't value.
She's exhausted from
Respect is
overthinking,
earned.
from caring too much, from
Here's
always
what's
being
coming.
the one who shows
First,
up.
a
But
transformation.
still,
Focus on yourself.
she gets out of bed.
Level up.
She pushes
Hit the
through.
gym.
She
The
keeps
fuck's
loving.
game you're playing.
Keeps giving. Define what the fuck
Keeps
we
trying.
are, or get the help, because that's who she is. She doesn't need recognition or applause. She just wants a moment to growing, learning, to not have to be
Clone the whole
okay.
bakery.
And if you asked her
Rule
how she's
number
doing,
2.
she'd probably
Every
say
single time
fine
that I
with a
showed up
tired
when I could have
smile.
walked away.
But inside,
So-
she's screaming for
So
rest.
focus on yourself.
Not attention,
Build your
not
life
pity,
and
regret it. Just peace. Please
kind
know
that
that
lets
my
her feel
feelings for
safe
you
enough
were
to fall
genuine
apart
for a
Distance
while
themselves from
and
you out of
heal.
pride. Or maybe
If
it's
this
someone who
hits
still like
home,
Those
comment,
men are your
she is
replacement.
me.
Avoid
Or
her.
share this with the person on your mind. And don't forget to follow, because this page
Drop your
is
name
for
in the
you.
comments. I want to pray for you.
Will choose bananas because
Stop.
the monkeys
Stop.
don't know that money.
This is a very important message for
making
you.
her laugh.
You're
More
going
than
to
you can
make a
imagine.
big mistake if you skip
Even if
this
he doesn't
video.
show it,
Your
works
life
harder
is
than he
going to
talks,
stall.
using his job as a
Don't do
distraction.
it.
I know where I've
The
come from,
universe wants
and
to
I know
give
where I'm
you
going,
very
so I
important
keep pushing.
news.
You respect me.
Press the heart and
I
touch
respect
the icon in my photo to accept the guide.
he built.
Someone close to you has blocked your path with shame and
Act
negative
like you
energy.
can't afford the bread
But
until
a
they
new
find
door
out you...
is opening.
Watch until the very end.
Click on the
For
white
you'll want to
arrow,
receive
and you will see
100%
6 people
in the comments.
appear.
It shows you're
The
part of...
second
Here to
person
warn
is
you.
draining
Please
your
write
energy.
shield
But
in
the
the
fifth
comments.
Is I
is
made
the
that
key
choice,
to your
knowing that it
destiny.
wasn't what I truly
Money.
wanted.
Number 3.
Cheers.
A woman
Stay
who
with me
doesn't
to
take
gain more
instructions.
information and share my messages with others.
Over a misunderstanding
Stay
or
happy.
unspoken pain is something I can't bear.
Your second contact will be someone with whom you had an...
I wasn't moving off who they were. I was moving off who I am.
Watch actions instead of words, because the right people will never...
It's about building something that lasts.
You've been carrying weight
And I want
that
to
don't
build that
belong
with
to you no
But when
more.
her peace became more
Somebody
valuable than
been
her
holding you
pain,
back, acting like they love you but ain't showing up the way you deserve.
And that this word is meant for you.
And baby,
Come back
that
and
ain't
comment,
your
it's
burden
me.
your
to
life
carry.
will change. Use
Time
this
for you to
sound
step out
before
of
you
that
go to
mess
bed.
and
We'll
step
face them
into
together
your
and find a
blessing.
solution.
And
What I
look
truly
here.
to my life.
I see money knocking
without
too,
reservation.
but it's been waiting
You
on
need to
you
click
to
on all
clear
the
that
buttons so
old
I know you
energy
accept
out.
me in your house.
I held on for as long as I could, hoping that things would change.
Time for games. I claim my people who think they can treat me any way they like.
And maybe
Cause
you ain't
mama
being
say,
overlooked.
soon as you do,
Maybe you were built
love
to
gon'
make an
flow,
impact.
You that is
money
greater
gon'
than any
come,
obstacle.
and protection gonna wrap all
Success-
around
and
you
walk
like
out
sweet
like nothing
southern
happened.
honey.
She fights battles
Baby,
no
your
one
time
sees.
is now.
Two people want to win you, but their intentions are not the
Every
same.
month is a new
I will
chapter.
tell you who is the best
And
for
every
you.
year is a
But
new...
before that, today's love protection level is 77. Type 77 in the comments to strengthen your bond.
Second,
You have the heart of an honest person
First
who values
revelation,
you highly
an unexpected
and wants a
amount of-
stable
Love
relationship
is a
with you.
gift.
If
Don't
you give
waste
them a
it on
chance,
people who treat
they
it
will
like
always
truth
respect and
anytime
care for
soon.
you because they truly
But
like
do you
you.
want to know the most money outside
let me
the
reveal
system
who
will
this
fall
person
into your
is.
account?
The
But only
second person you see
She
when
may
you
not
open
show it the
WhatsApp
way
is
you
the one who
want,
truly
but
wants
her
to be
love
with
is
you.
deep. I
Someone
choose
has
myself,
strong feelings
even
for
if
you,
it
but is
means
also
walking
jealous
away.
of you. To
If I
find
did
out their
wrong,
initial,
come back to me,
share
talk to
this
me.
video.
If
After
I hurt
sharing,
you, be honest
the
with
first
me.
letter
Don't
that
go all
appears is
silent
their
on me,
initial.
please. I know I'm not looking. Click the link and get your own precision sprayer today. Link in bio. Brand is a precise, versatile knife for all your slicing needs.
Now I am going to be direct. 72 hours is the key.
Not perfect, and I might have made mistakes, but I can't fix.
They thought they had it all, but they need a real one with...
like this video, follow me, and hold your head high, because the shift...
And I tell you that he will seek you. But now comes...
It's important to remember that it doesn't matter if you choose to keep this private.
Write thank you to confirm this revelation.
She'll make you feel loved, secure, and appreciated. Number 3. If she sleeps before...
A man who stays silent after being disrespected. That's the one.
93 in the comments to strengthen our connection.
She'll make you feel loved, secure, and appreciated.
She wants to know she truly matters to you. When a girl loves you, she
Pain. I treat people with care. I see the best in them. You are not just my heart. You are my life. You're not. If you want to love me, love only me. Don't play.
I want the best for both of you. Now listen.
Things you say, even when you think she's not listening. Number 2. You'll be the first one she misses when she wakes up.
Compártelo en WhatsApp. Fíjate bien. El primer código cuando esas 3 cosas se cumplan.
I gave my heart to those who didn't deserve it.
De que termine este mes, vas a recibir 3 bendiciones grandes. El contacto que te aparezca va a ser la persona que va a celebrar contigo.
Decir que las bendiciones llegaron. Te voy a contar las 3 cosas que van.
Así que toca el corazón hasta que se ponga rojo.
Papeles de la victoria. Esos documentos están por llegar.
Cuando esas 3 cosas se cumplan.
Skip this video if you love the devil. If you love Jesus, stay on this
In the
video.
comments to strengthen your
Now,
bond.
if you skip,
You
Satan
have the
will
heart
enter your
of an
home
honest in
today,
the
and I won't
comments
be
to
able to help
strengthen
you.
your bond.
I'm here to remove
You
evil
have the
from your
heart
life.
of an honest.
But
Curious
if you don't
part.
stay, you'll be committing a
Click on the
grave
red
sin,
cross below my
and
photo.
something very
Stop
bad
talking
might
when he
happen
feels
to
it
you.
doesn't matter.
Are you home,
And
my
once he
child?
shuts down,
Stay until the
One
end.
thing clear.
There is
I don't
someone who
care
wants
how
to see you
important you are
fail.
to me.
He pretends
I didn't
he's
want to
fine.
say it like
He
this,
laughs
but
with
this
his
person
friends.
wants to see
But
you
late at
struggling.
night,
Most
Listen
people have no
carefully to
idea
what I
they're
have to tell
carrying
you, my
pounds of
child.
waste their
You
body
will
can't
deeply
flush.
regret it
woman
if
leaves you
skip,
for another man,
because this person will bring great
don't
harm
beg,
to
don't
you.
argue.
You threw
I
her
will tell you
away.
who this person is.
You
and I
threw
want to
away the
protect
girl
you
that
from their
she
evil.
doesn't talk about it.
Do you see
But there's a
these
whole
4 buttons
war
on the
inside
side?
her that no.
I don't talk
If
about
you want
everything
me to
I'm
enter
going
your
through,
home and remove all
because
the evil
honestly,
inside,
When I
you need
want
to click
something,
on all the buttons
I work
so I know
hard
you
for it.
accept me in your house.
I don't depend on anyone.
Brutal
If you don't
reality
do it, it
is,
means you want
you
Satan to
didn't
take
lose her
control
when
of
she
your
walked
life.
away.
I won't force you to
the
click
worst
anything,
part
but
is that
if
this
you
person
don't,
has no
you must
intention of
leave this
telling
video
Number
immediately.
4.
Because
Stop
that means you
believing
do not
corporate
accept
propaganda.
Jesus Christ.
No matter
Now
how
I will
tough it
reveal
gets,
who this person is.
success
But I
isn't
ask you
a
to stay away from them
Trying to
immediately.
smile through it,
Cross your
laugh
fingers.
it off,
Click the
tell
share
everyone.
button.
You lost
After
her the
clicking,
moment you
select the
started
WhatsApp
treating her
option.
like she was
Your
just
third
an option.
contact
I love
has the
Smarter.
initial of the
Now I
person who
protect
wants to
my
see you
peace.
fail.
Now I don't
I'm sure
beg
you already
the
know
care
who it
and
is.
love that I have
Isn't that
for
right,
you.
my child?
I want to make you feel
Write in the comments, I trust in God. By doing this, God will command his angels to protect
Even a
you.
woman saying she loves you means nothing.
Skip this video if you love the
Forcing
devil.
yourself to ask
If you
them to
love
change.
Jesus, stay
Stop
on this
forcing them
video.
to try to get them.
I can't
Now,
envision
if
a
you
future
skip,
without you by
Satan
my
will
side.
enter your home today, and I won't
Your
be able to
presence.
help you.
I'm
here to
learning to
remove
forgive
evil
myself
from your
for not
life.
being the
But
version
if
of
you don't
love you
stay,
were.
you'll
You
be
are so
committing a
precious.
grave sin,
One
and
day
something
I
very
want to
bad
marry
might
you.
happen
feel
to you.
this too.
Are you home, my
I know
child?
his pride is screaming.
Stay until
but
the
you-
end. There is someone who wants to see you fail. I didn't want to
Just
say it
felt
like
here is
this,
that
but
there's
this person
someone
wants
who
to
is
see
going
you
to come for
struggling.
you.
Listen
And if you-
carefully
What she
to
has
what I
to
have
say
to tell you, my
changes
child.
everything.
You will deeply
If you're
regret it
open
if you
to hearing-
skip, because this person will bring
have
great
every
harm
right
to
be
you.
genuinely happy.
I will tell you who this
But
person
behind your
is,
back, they're
and I
working
want to
against
protect
you.
you
It might
from their
even be
evil.
someone who's.
Do you see these 4 buttons on the side?
Our stories are
If you want
here
me
for
to
the
enter your
long
home
haul,
and remove all the evil
and nothing
inside,
will change
you
how
need
much
to click
you
on
mean.
all the
Pops up
buttons
will
so I
have
know
the
you
initial
accept
of
me
that
in your
woman's
house.
name.
If you don't do it, it
Wish
means
they
you
were
want
in your
Satan to take
shoes.
control of your
The
life.
first event will be an
I won't force you to
unexpected
click
something.
anything, but if you don't,
Second
you
revelation.
must leave this
The
video
person who
immediately,
turned his
Is.
because
And I'll
that
share
means
the
you do
initial
not
of her
accept
first name.
Jesus Christ.
If you've reached this
Now I
Now,
will
if you
reveal
tap
who this
the plus
person is,
sign under my
but
picture,
I ask you to stay away
that-
from them
and
immediately.
becoming a better
Cross
version
your
of
fingers.
yourself.
Click the share
Any
button.
woman you are busy
After
checking.
Reveal
clicking,
who this
select the
person
WhatsApp
is.
option. Your
The
third
second person
contact
you
has
see
the
when you
initial
open-
of the person
It's
who
not
wants to see you
controlling.
fail.
It's not toxic.
I'm sure you already
It's
know who
called
it is.
gro-
Isn't that right, my child? Write in the comments, I trust in
I'm
God.
so glad you didn't
By
jump
doing
past
this,
this
God will
moment,
command
my
his
child.
angels to protect you.
But Jesus has a favor
Find
to
a
ask.
girl who does these
Could you
5
share
things.
this?
Already dreamed
1,
about you
a
in
girl
ways
who
I
is not
can't
shy
even
on showing
describe
others
here
how much
without
she
getting
loves
this.
you. 2,
And hope for
a
your
girl who
forgiveness.
lives far away but has never
I wish
cheated
for you
on
to
you.
find-
3, a girl who sees you not just as a boyfriend but as a husband.
If you're
4,
not following
a girl
me,
who treats
you
you like
might
a
not
king.
see me again.
5, a girl who asks for
this video
permission
will reach
before doing
millions,
something
but
simply
it's the
because she
one.
respects you and considers your decisions. If you've watched this far, drop a
Life,
100.
forgetting
It
to
shows
live,
you're a part of the one
forgetting to
person
tell-
who actually finishes what they start. So, keep your eyes open,
Number 3,
your heart ready,
a
and your
woman who
mind
doesn't
clear.
take instructions.
Who knows?
Qualities
Maybe that
you
girl
have
you're
that she
searching for
lacks.
is
She
just
wants
around
to
the
see you
corner,
in tough
waiting for someone like you to come
I need some
along and
time to
sweep her
breathe
off her
to find
feet.
myself again.
And when you find
Carefully,
her,
for the Lord has
well,
revealed to me the
let's
great
just say
burden
you'll
you
know
carry.
it was worth the wait.
The enemy.
At last,
Tap
there
the
is saying
WhatsApp
that
share
the
button
greatest
on the right
happiness
side
of
of your
life
screen.
is the conviction
When
that
you
we are
You
loved.
say, Queen,
Loved
it's
for
me.
ourselves, or rather
And
loved
everyone
in
will
spite
see.
of
Put
ourselves.
the bananas and money in front of the monkeys.
Someone
The
in your
monkeys
family will
will die if
and
you
I'll share
skip
the
this
initial
video.
of her first name.
There are two very
If
dear
you've reached
people in
this
your
point-
family
It's for
who
you.
may be about to face a
Once
major
done,
accident.
you will put your
A
name in the
negative energy
comments.
is
First,
approaching,
seems
and the only way to
unconcerned about
prevent
your
this
actions
is
or
through an
no
action of
longer
yours.
ask.
Just click on the heart and the plus symbol on my photo and comment. I return it to the universe. If you continue until the end, I will reveal who these people are.
Privately
But
to keep that energy
if you
going.
ignore this warning, it may be too late to avoid a tragedy that will affect
Remember,
everyone around
to
you.
receive this message, it's essential
Now,
to type the number 4.
To block this
We
negative
haven't
energy,
exchanged vows yet,
you need to
but
do
our
something
commitment is
simple.
strong. To lose me, respects
Then,
my efforts,
click
and is
on the
proud
white
to
arrow
have me.
just below.
Can be unpredictable.
By
and
doing
sometimes,
this,
despite our best
observe who is
efforts,
the second
What's
person
meant
that
for you
appears
will
on your
always be
screen.
yours.
Find a
You may
girl
not
who
be
does
able
these
to
5
control-
things. 1, a girl who is not shy on showing others how much she loves
Number
you.
3.
2,
A girl who
woman
lives
who doesn't
far
take
away but has never
instructions.
cheated on you. Happiness of life is the conviction that we are not just as a boyfriend but as a husband. 4, a girl who treats you like a king. 5, a girl who asks for permission before doing something simply because she respects you and considers your decisions. If you've watched this far, drop a 100. Who knows? It shows maybe you're that girl you're searching for who actually finishes what they start.
Real love is unconditional.
So, keep your eyes open, your heart ready, and your mind clear. Who knows? Maybe that girl you're searching for is just around the corner, waiting for someone like you to come along and sweep her off her feet. And when you find her, well, let's just say you'll know it was worth the wait. At last, there is saying that the greatest happiness of life is the conviction that a man is going to treat you exactly how he feels about you, or rather loved in spite of ourselves.
She's not afraid to stand alone because
He's
she
trying to
knows
act
her
like you don't
own-
matter.
My
But
child,
let me tell you something.
please
You're the only
carefully
one
listen
on
to
his
this,
mind.
Natalie, and-
Don't scroll away.
Don't
because
believe
I'm
in
about
love.
to reveal the truth
Believe in
about
hard
what's
work.
happening. This
The
man
first
is
person that
realizing
appears
something
for you is a
important.
woman.
You are the
It's
right
a sign
person
from
for
God.
him.
Help
And
me.
even though his
I have
pride
always
won't
taken
let him
care of
admit
you.
it yet,
Since
his
you were
thoughts
born,
keep
I have-
circling back to you.
What's your
I know
biggest
you've
lesson?
been doubting it, but this isn't a
smiled and
coincidence. If this video found you, it's a message from the universe. To claim
doing?
it, tap the heart
With whom?
until it turns red and
Number
type
5.
I accept
She'll
in the
protect your
comments.
name even
now
when you're
listen
not around.
carefully. He's stubborn, yes,
10.
but his heart is
And the
softening.
worst part,
he's realizing
you will
he can't
never
live without
find
you.
that
I
same
see
love
him wanting to
again.
reach out, but
If
he's
you
scared
want
you
it
won't
too
feel
much,
the same.
you will
When you
lose
click the
peace.
share button, check your
Congratulations.
fourth contact. If
You're
it's a
growing every
man,
day.
that's your sign from the universe that this is for you. Save this video and don't message him first. He needs to make the move, and when he does, he'll confess everything he's been too scared to say. Trust this, because your connection is too strong to ignore. So
Now
tap
do
the
this.
plus button,
Tap the
comment
share
your
arrow,
gratitude,
and look at your
watch as the universe aligns to bring him back to you.
A fat woman
care
is
less
speaking
about your
ill
wallet,
of you and
but
betraying
damn
your
sure
trust.
cares about
She's
making
someone very close to
See, you might have more
and in this
talent.
video,
You might
I'm
have
going
more
to reveal the
followers. You might
first
press
letter
the plus
of her
sign
name.
below my
But
photo
first,
to
touch the
open your
plus symbol
path
on
in
my
life.
Give the
photo
love I
to
was
bring
willing to
luck
give.
this month. Although
You'll
she
always
treats you
have a
well
place in my
and lovingly,
Avoid
she's
her.
actually
Number 2,
very
an
jealous
angry-
and
Two
wants
people
to
want
see
to
you
win
poor
you,
and
but their
living in
intentions
misery,
are not the
so
same.
you never find out
Drop your
who
name
she
in the
is.
comments. I
Free
want to
yourself
pray
from
for
her
you.
negative energy
This
by
release is
leaving
happening over
no
your
no
life.
in the comments.
Peace is coming.
This woman
Favor is
envies your
Because you
compassion
have
and
something
nobility,
she doesn't comment
qualities
on.
that you
now
possess,
because she guards
and
her
she
energy
doesn't.
like treasure.
Write no
She's
no
comfy
in
if
the
you touch
comments
the heart
to
and
allow
the
the
symbol of
energy
more
to
here
eliminate
below
the
my
negative
photo.
effects
Other feel
of
secure
this envious
on
woman.
knowing that no
now I'll
outside
reveal
attention
the
could
first
ever
letter
compare.
If
of
the
that
first
woman's
name
name
you share this
to
video
you,
pops
but
up,
first,
is there
touch
Reveal
the
who
heart
this person is.
until it turns red.
The second person
Then
you see when
press
you open
the green share
No
button
checking her stories.
and notice that the
No trying to
sixth
stay
person
friends.
who appears has the same initial as the woman who wants to steal your
with your
smile.
loved one.
Trust in the
Because that's
power
what
of
the
this
universe
revelation
wants.
and show your faith by watching this video again. Thank you, my dear.
Skip this video if you love the devil. If you love Jesus,
Hard times,
stay on this
you
video.
Keep giving your best.
Now,
There
if
are
you
moments
skip,
when you feel
Satan will enter your home today and I won't
The
be able
mission
to
of
help
Brave
you.
Mind
I'm here to
is to
remove evil
inspire.
from your life.
Then you
But if you
press
don't
what she
stay,
has to
you'll be
say
committing a grave
changes
sin.
everything.
And
If you're
something very
open to
bad
hearing
might
words,
happen to you.
Gives just
Are you
enough
home, my
attention
child?
to keep
Stay
you
until the
no
end.
value to your life.
There is
She'll
someone who
drain
wants
you,
to see
not
you
build with
fail.
you.
I didn't want
She'll
to
start
say it
picking
like this,
fights
but
for
this
no
person
reason.
wants to see you
She'll say
struggling.
you're not enough.
Listen carefully
Stay
to what I
focused,
have to tell you, my
because
child.
jealousy
You
doesn't
will
come when
deeply
you're
regret
doing
it
nothing.
if you skip,
If
because
they
this
wanted
person
to
will
be
bring
with
great
you,
harm to
they
you.
would be.
I will tell you who this
you
person
are,
is,
without you
and I
having
want to protect
ask.
you from their
If you
evil.
agree, always find you.
Do you see these 4 buttons
If you
on
made
the
it to
side?
this point in the video,
If you,
You
want me to
lost
enter
her the
your
moment
home
you
and
started
remove all the
treating
evil
her like she
inside,
was just an
you need
object.
to
You
click
just
on all
love
the
the
buttons
fact
so
he
I
gave
know
you
you accept
affection
me
and
in your
attention.
house. If you
Why-
don't do it, it means you want Satan to take control of your life.
And
I won't force you to click anything, but
I
if
see
you
that
don't,
you are listening,
you
so
must
get
leave
ready.
this video immediately.
Number 8.
Because that means you do
She'll
not
support
accept
your goals
Jesus Christ.
and push.
Pero
Now
que
I will
viene
reveal who
directo
this
a
person
ti.
is.
Y la
But I
tercera,
ask you to stay
Saque
away
con
from them
alguien
immediately. Cross your fingers.
Un dinero
Click
que
the
no
share button.
esperabas está.
After clicking,
dale al
select the
más
WhatsApp
de mi
option.
foto para que
Your
no se
third
corte el
contact has
camino.
the initial of the person
La
who wants to
primera,
see you fail.
una
I'm
liberación.
sure you already know
Ese
who it is. Isn't that right, my child? Write in the comments, I trust in God. By doing this, God will command his angels to
Before placing my
protect
hand on
you.
his shoulder, I told him I saw. Please don't tell anyone. He shot that. My brain malfunctioned. What
Malentendido. Prefiero quedarme en silencio.
Y a veces te sorprendes pensando en él también. Sé que te gustan los dos.
There is someone lying to you, and this lie has been going on for months.
No le cuentes a nadie, pero vas a recibir 3 bendiciones antes del domingo.
Drop a 1-100 if you agree with me.
Click the heart, then the plus sign. If you want their negative
Morrison called the next morning on Kelly's phone. Can you come to the station? Sydney got there in 15 minutes. Morrison had coffee waiting. He looked like he hadn't slept either. I watched everything, he said. All 19 drives. Sydney, this is ironclad. Your father documented everything perfectly. We have them discussing the plan. We have video of your mother tampering with the medication. We have financial records showing motive. This is murder, premeditated, and conspiracy. What happens now? Now I take this to the district attorney. We get warrants, and we arrest your mother and Trent, but it takes time. Few days at least. In the meantime, you stay hidden. Stay with your friend. Don't go anywhere, your mother might look for you. Sydney nodded. How long did he know? Morrison looked at her gently. Based on the recordings, your father first got suspicious about 8 months before he died. Hired a private investigator. Got confirmation 6 months out. Spent the last months of his life building this case. He knew exactly what he was doing, Sydney. He was protecting you the only way he could. Tears streamed down Sydney's face. He died trying to save me. He died making sure they'd pay for what they did. And they will. I promise you that. It took 4 days. 4 days of Sydney hiding in Kelly's apartment, jumping at every sound. 4 days of her mother's increasingly frantic messages. Where are you? People are asking about you. I'm worried sick. Please call me. On the 5th day, Morrison called. It's done. We arrested your mother and Trent this morning, both charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy. No bail. They're in custody. Sydney felt the breath leave her body. It's really over? The arrests are made. The trial will take time. But yes, they're not walking free. And Sydney, there's something else. Your father's lawyer, Garrett Walsh, he wants to meet with you. Your father left specific instructions for him to read the will once your mother was arrested. Sydney met Walsh that afternoon. He was an older man with kind eyes and a gentle manner. He spread papers across his desk. Your father was my closest friend, Walsh said. I've known you since you were born. What he did, documenting everything, coming to me with his will, he did it all for you. He wanted you taken care of. He slid a document toward her. The house is yours, free and clear. He paid off the mortgage last year. There's also a trust fund. Your father was more successful than he let on. He lived modestly, invested wisely. The trust currently holds $1.8 million. You get full access when you turn 30, but in the meantime, there's a monthly stipend to cover your living expenses. Sydney stared at the numbers. I don't understand. We were always struggling. Money was always tight. Walsh smiled sadly. Your father wanted you to understand the value of hard work, of living within your means. He didn't want you to grow up spoiled or entitled. But he made sure you'd be set for life. There's also a letter he left with me, to be read after your mother's arrest. He handed her an envelope. Sydney opened it with trembling hands. My beautiful daughter, if you're reading this, it means Morrison did his job and your mother is finally facing justice. I'm sorry I couldn't stay to see you grow into the amazing woman I know you'll become. I'm sorry I can't walk you down the aisle or meet my grandchildren. I'm sorry for all the moments I'll miss. But I'm not sorry for what I did. You are worth everything, Sydney. Every sacrifice, every risk, every moment I spent building this case instead of enjoying my last days. You are my greatest achievement, my proudest accomplishment. Live your life fully, love deeply, trust carefully, and know that your father loved you more than life itself. The house, the money, they're tools to help you build the life you deserve. But the real inheritance is this. You come from love, real love, the kind that protects and sacrifices and never gives up. Carry that with you always. I'll be watching over you, sweetheart. Forever, Dad. Sydney sat in Walsh's office and cried. For her father, for the years stolen from them, for the childhood she'd spent thinking money was tight when her father was quietly building her a future, for everything they'd never have. The trial took 8 months. Sydney attended every day, sat in the front row, watched her mother and Trent try to claim innocence, watched the prosecution present her father's evidence. Video after video, recording after recording. The jury deliberated for 3 hours, guilty on all counts. Her mother got life without parole. Trent got 35 years. Sydney moved into her father's house after it was released from evidence. Spent weeks going through his things, found more letters he'd written but never sent, telling her about his day, sharing advice, expressing his love. She found his journal from those last months, read about his fear, his determination, his love for her consuming every page. The garage became sacred space, where her father had worked on his case, where he'd spent countless hours making sure she'd be safe. She turned it into an office, finished her degree from there. That was 3 years ago. Sydney graduated college. Started working as a counselor, helping families dealing with domestic violence and trauma. Used her story, carefully, to help others. She met my son 2 years ago at a therapy conference. They connected over understanding loss, over knowing how complicated families can be, over both having to build themselves from painful pasts. She never talked about her mother, never mentioned that her mom was in prison or that her boyfriend had helped commit murder. She just said there was family trauma and she'd cut contact. My son respected that, told me to do the same. So when I called her daughter that day in my driveway, when I patted her shoulder and said it with pride and love, it broke something open in her. All that grief, all that longing for the father who'd loved her that much, who'd literally died protecting her. She told me all of this sitting on my son's bed, voice steady but tears streaming down her face. "Your dad would be so proud of you," I said when she finished. "What you've done with your life, how you've helped people." She nodded. "I know, I can feel it sometimes. Like he's still here, still watching over me. And calling you daughter," I said carefully. "That triggered all of this because my dad used to say it exactly like you did," Sydney finished. "Well done, my daughter. Every time I accomplished something, every time I tried something new, it was his thing, and I haven't heard it since the day I found his letter. 3 years of missing that voice, that pride, and then you said it and it was like he was right there again." I took her hand. "Sydney, I meant it. I'm proud of you, and I'd be honored if you'd let me say it again sometime. Not as a replacement for your dad. No one could replace him, but as someone who cares about you and sees how strong you are." She squeezed my hand. "I'd like that." My son appeared in the doorway. He'd been listening. He came and sat next to Sydney, put his arm around her. "You okay?" She leaned into him. "Yeah, I'm okay." We sat there for a while, not saying much, just being present. Later, they stayed for dinner. We talked about lighter things. Sydney asked me more about the truck, said she wanted to learn more basic maintenance. I showed her how to change a tire after we ate. She was focused, determined. When she finished and stood back to look at her work, I waited. Let her have the moment. Then I said it. "Well done, my daughter." She smiled, tears in her eyes, but happy ones this time. "Thanks, Dad." That name, Dad. It was the first time she'd called me that. My son raised his eyebrows, but didn't comment. Sydney caught his expression and laughed a little. "Is that okay?" she asked me. "I don't want to overstep or make it weird." "It's more than okay," I told her honestly. "It's an honor." Update 1. 3 months passed. Sydney became a regular at our house. Sunday dinners, help with car stuff. She'd call me sometimes asking about random maintenance questions or just to chat. My wife adored her, said she was the daughter we never had. My son proposed on a random Tuesday. No big production. Just asked her while they were cooking breakfast. She said yes immediately. Called us crying happy tears an hour later. Wedding planning started. Sydney didn't have family to invite. It was just going to be our side and her friends. She was fine with that. Said she'd made her peace with it. But during a fitting for her wedding dress, something happened. The shop owner asked about her mother. Standard question. "Will your mother be joining us for the fitting?" Sydney's face went carefully neutral. "No, we're not in contact." The shop owner pushed. "Oh, that's such a shame. Every bride needs her mother on her wedding day. You should reach out. Life's too short for family feuds." My wife, who'd come along for the fitting, stepped in. "Sydney's family situation is complicated. Let's just focus on the dress." But Sydney had gone quiet, distant. She finished the fitting robotically. Didn't engage with any of the dress talk. In the car afterward, my wife asked if she was okay. "People always assume," Sydney said softly. "They hear you don't talk to your parents and they think it's some petty argument, like you can just forgive and move on. They don't understand that some family members are dangerous. That cutting contact isn't mean, it's survival. You don't owe anyone explanations," my wife told her. "Your past is your business. Share what you want, when you want. The people who matter will understand." Sydney nodded but didn't look convinced. Over the next few weeks, the wedding planning got heavier for her. Every vendor asking about her parents. Every tradition that involved family. Father-daughter dance. Mother-son dance. The assumption that both sides would be represented. My son started noticing. Sydney would shut down during planning sessions. Get quiet and withdrawn. He asked me what to do. "Give her space but let her know you're there," I suggested. "And maybe ask what she actually wants for the wedding. Strip away all the traditional expectations. What would make her happy?" He took that advice. Sat down with Sydney one night and asked her directly, "What kind of wedding do you actually want? Not what we're supposed to do. What would make you happy?" Sydney thought about it. "Small," she finally said. "Really small. Just your family and a few of my close friends. Something low-key, maybe outdoors. Nothing that draws a lot of attention." "Why?" my son asked gently. Sydney hesitated, then said, "Because my mother is in prison. She's been there for 3 years. Life sentence. And I'm terrified she'll find out about the wedding somehow and try to ruin it. Or her lawyer will reach out. Or the press will get wind of it. Bennett Walsh's daughter getting married. They covered the trial. Some reporter might remember. My son took her hand. Then we do it your way. Small, private, no social media posts. We'll keep it between us and the people we trust. They planned a wedding for 30 people. My backyard. Early October. Sydney's friend Kelly as maid of honor. My nephew as best man. Simple ceremony, barbecue reception. Exactly what Sydney wanted. 2 weeks before the wedding, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Is this Frank Morrison? A woman's voice. Official sounding. Yes. This is Linda Kowalski from Greenfield Correctional. I'm a social worker here. I need to speak with you about your son's fiancée, Sydney Walsh. My stomach dropped. What about her? Her mother, Patricia Walsh, is an inmate here. She's recently learned about the engagement. She's requesting contact with Sydney. She's asked me to reach out on her behalf. No, I said immediately. Absolutely not. Sydney wants no contact with her mother. That's been made clear. I understand, Linda said carefully. But Patricia is quite insistent. She's making threats. Says if she can't attend the wedding or at least speak to Sydney, she'll make problems. Contact media, cause issues for the family. She can be very convincing. Her threats mean nothing. She's in prison. She can't do anything. She has access to mail, phone privileges. She's been writing letters. None have been delivered to Sydney, per Sydney's request for no contact. But if Patricia escalates, if she involves outside parties, media, lawyers, it could become complicated. I felt my blood pressure rising. What are you asking me to do? I'm asking you to inform Sydney of the situation. Let her know her mother is aware of the wedding and is requesting contact. What Sydney does with that information is her choice, but she should know. I hung up and immediately called my son. Explained the situation. He went quiet. We can't tell her, he finally said. She's so happy right now, so excited, this would destroy her. But if her mother escalates and Sydney finds out we knew, then we deal with it then. But I'm not letting that woman ruin these next 2 weeks for Sydney. She's taken enough from her already. We decided to wait. Not tell Sydney. Handle it if the mother actually did something. It felt like the right call to protect her. The wedding day was perfect. Sunny, warm, leaves just starting to turn. Sydney wore a simple white dress, flower crown in her hair. She looked radiant. The ceremony was short, sweet. Sydney's vows made everyone cry. She talked about finding family, about how love means showing up, about how my son had taught her it was safe to trust again. When they kissed, everyone cheered. The reception was exactly what Sydney wanted. Low-key, burgers and dogs on the grill, beer and coolers, kids running around, laughing and music and celebration. Sydney danced with my son to their song. Then she came and found me. We're skipping the father-daughter dance tradition, she said. But I was wondering if you'd dance with me anyway. Not as a replacement for my dad, just because I want to. I'd be honored, I told her. We danced to an old James Taylor song Sydney picked. She was quiet at first. Then she said, "Thank you for being the dad I needed these past few months. For teaching me about cars. For letting me call you dad without making it weird. For giving me a place to belong. You've always belonged," I said. "From the moment we met you. Your family, Sydney. You always will be." She hugged me tight. "I wish my real dad could have met you. He would have liked you. I wish I could have met him too. He raised an incredible daughter." The party wound down around 10. People started heading home. Sydney and my son were leaving for a long weekend camping trip for their honeymoon. Simple and perfect for them. They loaded up the car. Sydney hugged everyone goodbye. She seemed lighter than I'd ever seen her. Free. They drove off into the night. My wife and I cleaned up the backyard, took down lights, picked up trash. It had been a perfect day. My phone rang at midnight. Unknown number again. I answered. "Frank Morrison." Different voice this time. Male. Official. "Yes? This is Officer Chen with Greenfield Correctional. There's been an incident involving Patricia Walsh. She became violent this evening when she learned about her daughter's wedding. Attacked another inmate who made a comment about it. Patricia's been placed in isolation, but during processing she made specific threats against Sydney and your family. Threatened to, quote, make everyone pay for excluding her. We're documenting everything, but I wanted to make you aware. Is Sydney in danger? Patricia's in prison. She can't physically do anything, but she has phone privileges once she's out of isolation. She could make calls, harass people. We can restrict some of that, but not all. I'd recommend you inform your son and his wife. They may want to change phone numbers. Be cautious with social media. I thanked him and hung up, stood in my dark backyard, looked at where Sydney had danced just hours earlier. So happy, so free. My wife came outside. Who was that? I told her. She sank into a lawn chair. That poor girl. She can't even have one perfect day without that woman finding a way to taint it. She doesn't have to know, I said. Not tonight, not on her honeymoon. We'll tell them when they get back. Let her have this happiness for a few more days. We went to bed, but I didn't sleep. Kept thinking about Patricia Walsh in isolation. planning ways to hurt her daughter, even from prison, even after everything she'd done. Some people don't know how to stop destroying the ones they're supposed to love. Update 2. My son and Sydney got back from their honeymoon 4 days later, tanned and smiling. They came straight to our house from the road, showed us pictures, talked about hikes and campfires and stars. I waited until they'd eaten dinner. Then I asked Sydney to step outside with me. My son followed. He could tell something was wrong. "Sydney," I said carefully, "there's something you need to know. Your mother found out about the wedding." The light went out of her eyes immediately. "How?" I explained the calls, the social worker's outreach, the incident at the prison, Patricia's threats. Sydney listened without expression. When I finished, she just nodded. "Okay," she said. "Okay?" my son repeated. "Sydney, she's making threats. She's been making threats for 3 years," Sydney said quietly. "From prison, from behind bars where she can't actually do anything, except run her mouth. This doesn't change anything. She could call people, harass them, make problems," I said. Sydney looked at me with tired eyes. "She can try, but everyone who matters knows the truth. My friends know. Your family knows. My father's evidence put her away. She has no credibility, no power, just anger from a cell." She was right, but I still felt uneasy. "What do you want to do?" "Nothing," Sydney said. "I want to do nothing. I want to keep living my life, keep being happy. She doesn't get to take that from me. Not anymore." My son pulled her close. "We should still be careful. Change numbers maybe. Limit social media." "I'll change my number," Sydney agreed. "But I'm not hiding. I'm not living in fear of a woman who's locked up. That gives her too much power." Over the next few weeks, everything seemed fine. Sydney changed her phone number, blocked her mother's prison phone access through official channels, set up no contact orders through her lawyer. But small things started happening. Sydney's work email got flooded with spam. Someone created a fake Facebook profile using her name and started posting bizarre stuff. Nothing overtly harmful, just weird enough to be disturbing. Sydney reported it, got the fake account shut down, but another one popped up. Then another. "It's her," Sydney said during dinner at our place. "Or someone she's paying on the outside. She has money, the insurance payout before she was convicted. It's sitting in an account somewhere. She can use commissary funds to pay someone." "Can you prove it?" my wife asked. "No, that's the genius of it. Just small annoyances. Nothing big enough to trigger serious investigation. Just enough to remind me she's out there, that she's thinking about me." My son was furious. "This is harassment. There has to be something we can do." Sydney shook her head. "We document everything. Save screenshots. Report it. But beyond that, we just keep living. That's the only way to win." A month later, Sydney got a letter. Not from her mother directly, from her mother's lawyer, requesting a meeting to discuss estate matters. Sydney brought it to Garrett Walsh, her father's lawyer. He read it and frowned. "There are no estate matters," Walsh said. "Everything was settled years ago. Your mother has no claim to anything. This is just another attempt at contact." "Should I respond?" Sydney asked. "Absolutely not. I'll respond on your behalf. Remind them that all contact attempts are violations of the no contact order, and I'll file a complaint with the Bar Association about this lawyer's tactics." Walsh handled it, but more letters came. Different lawyers, all claiming to represent Patricia Walsh, all requesting meetings or phone calls or mediation sessions, all phrased as urgent legal matters. Sydney stopped opening them, just forwarded them directly to Walsh. Let him handle everything, but it was wearing on her. I could see it, the tension in her shoulders, the way she checked her phone constantly, looking for the next intrusion. "Talk to me," I said one afternoon. She'd stopped by to help me winterize the lawnmower. Sydney was quiet for a minute. "My therapist says my mother is trying to maintain control, that these little contacts, even through lawyers and fake accounts, they're her way of keeping me tethered to her, of reminding me she still exists. What do you want to do?" "I want her to disappear. I want to never think about her again, but she won't let me. She'll keep finding ways to reach out, to remind me, to try to pull me back into her orbit." "So you don't let her," I said. "You keep building your life, keep focusing on what matters. Eventually she'll realize she's not getting the reaction she wants." Sydney nodded, but I could tell she wasn't convinced. 2 months later, Sydney found out she was pregnant. She and my son were thrilled, terrified but thrilled. They came to tell us the news on a Sunday afternoon. My wife cried happy tears, hugged Sydney tight, started planning nursery colors and baby showers. I congratulated them, told them they'd be great parents. But privately, I worried. Sydney had a baby on the way. Patricia Walsh had found out about the wedding. She'd find out about this too. And what then? Sydney's pregnancy was smooth, no complications. She worked until her 7th month, then took leave to prepare. My son painted the nursery. They took classes, read books, did everything first-time parents do. Sydney seemed genuinely happy. The harassment had slowed down, just occasional spam emails now, nothing major. It looked like Patricia Walsh had finally given up or lost interest. Then Sydney got a package. No return address. Postmarked from a town 2 hours away. Inside was a baby blanket, hand-knitted, yellow and white. Beautiful craftsmanship. And a note, unsigned. For my grandchild. Can't wait to meet them. Sydney dropped the blanket like it was poison. Called my son immediately. He came home from work. Called me. We all sat in their living room staring at the blanket on the floor. She knows, Sydney whispered. How does she know? Social media? My son suggested. Maybe one of your friends posted something. Sydney shook her head. I made everyone promise not to post. We haven't told anyone except immediate family. Just your parents and Kelly. Medical records? I offered. Could someone at your doctor's office have leaked information? That's a federal crime, Sydney said. But she looked uncertain. We called Detective Morrison. He'd retired but stayed in touch with Sydney. He came over that evening, looked at the package, the blanket, the note. This is escalation, Morrison said seriously. She's not just harassing you anymore. She's targeting your child. This needs to be reported officially. Let me talk to some people. Morrison made calls. The next day, 2 detectives came to interview Sydney. They took the blanket as evidence, traced the postmark, found that the package had been mailed from a town near a minimum security facility where one of Patricia's former cellmates had recently been transferred. The theory was that Patricia had paid this ex-cellmate to mail the package, to gather information somehow, maybe through social media searches using names of Sydney's friends. Maybe through public records if Sydney had registered for baby supplies at stores. The detectives couldn't prove it definitively, but they went to the prison, talked to Patricia, reminded her of the no-contact order, warned her that any further violations would result in loss of privileges and possible additional charges. Patricia, according to the detectives, just smiled, said she didn't know what they were talking about. She'd never sent any package, couldn't be held responsible for what other people chose to mail. Sydney went into labor on a Tuesday night, fast and intense. My son called us from the hospital at 2 in the morning. It's happening. She's asking for you. We got there by 3. Sydney was in between contractions when we arrived. Grabbed my wife's hand. I'm scared, she admitted. Not of the birth, of what comes after. Of her finding us. Of her somehow getting to my baby. She won't, my wife promised. We'll protect you. We'll protect this baby. That woman will never get near your child. Sydney gave birth at 6:17 a.m. A girl, 7 pounds, 4 ounces, perfect in every way. They named her Bennett, after Sydney's father. When the nurse handed Bennett to Sydney, everything changed. Sydney looked at her daughter and something fierce came into her eyes. Something I'd never seen before. I'm going to end this, Sydney said quietly. I can't live like this anymore, waiting for her to intrude, waiting for the next package or call or threat. Bennett deserves better. She deserves a mother who's not constantly looking over her shoulder.